Benvenuto! Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make one of Wade's favorites, since the last several episodes have been something I really enjoy. What he really enjoys about this dish is the shrimp. So we're going to make shrimp and grits. Now, there are a couple different styles of shrimp and grits. You've got Southern style and Cajun style. Mine's kind of a mishmash of both of them. So I'm going to show you how I make it. All right, and I'm going to go over the ingredients, of course, quickly, just because there's a couple things I want to talk about. And the first we'll talk about is our shrimp. Okay, so I've got 2 pounds of super colossal shrimp. All right, so what does that mean? That means, of course, on the if you haven't bought shrimp, that means the size of the shrimp is dependent upon how many shrimp come in a pound. So in super colossal shrimp, between 13 and 15 are in a pound. The smaller the shrimp, the more that's going to be in a pound. Now, this recipe probably works best with live shrimp. It's just Wade and I. Wade will love the shrimp, so he'll eat it all up. Shrimp's not my favorite thing in the world, but I like a few of them. But anyway, so what the size of shrimp that you use really depends upon how far you want this recipe to stretch. All right. Now, the other thing we want to make sure that we do is we want to get raw shrimp. All right, not cooked shrimp. Not cooked shrimp. I was going to say you could use cooked shrimp, but no, not cooked shrimp. This happens to be, this says on the package, this is easy peel and deveined. So it's deveined. Everybody knows there's a little bit of vein, which is the shrimp's digestive system that runs between there. They've already done it, but I do like the peeled, the easy peel. Not that I ever have to peel it, because Wade always peels it, but he's left one unpeeled. So it's really easy to unpeel. You just unpeel it. Of course, it's easier if you're doing it over running water too, but anyway. So you get the gist. The peel comes right off. All right. Now, one of Wade's pet peeves with shrimp, especially when you go to get it at a restaurant, is I took it off anyway, is they leave the tail on. All right. He hates shrimp with the tail on it. Well, no, he'll still eat it. But now we know a professional, a trained chef that runs a kitchen in a very nice restaurant. And he says the reason that the tail is left on is to give that sense of freshness. Well, I don't think anywhere, at least not in our area, do you ever get 100% fresh shrimp. Even if you go to the fish stand at the supermarket, that shrimp has been previously frozen. But anyway, so that's my take on shrimp, all right? Again, you can use any size you want. The more shrimp, the smaller you use, the more you're going to stretch it, all right? Then, of course, let's talk a little bit about the grits, all right? Now, grits, everybody, well, I don't know if everybody knows what grits are. Grits are not really eaten all that much in our area. At least, if you go to breakfast or something or on a menu, you don't see them a lot. But grits is just white corn, same thing as polenta or cornmeal. It's white corn, coarsely ground, dried and then ground. All right, I'm using quick grits. Now, some really diehard grits enthusiasts might not use quick grits, but I always use quick grits for this recipe. Then one other important thing I want to talk about is here we've got some Gouda cheese. All right, now you can use any kind. This is smoked Gouda. All right, love it. It's delicious on a cracker. It's good on. It melts nice. It gets creamy. But you can use any kind of cheese you want. I happen to think that Gouda goes really well with shrimp and grits. All right. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is our seasoning, and that's really kind of depends whether it's a Southern style or Creole style, right? Is the seasoning that you put in it. I use garlic powder or granulated garlic, onion powder, paprika, a little sprig of my favorite new product, the freeze-dried parsley. You can use fresh. You want about two tablespoons fresh. All right. Now, If you wanted to make it the Creole style, of course, we use our wonderful Tony's Brioche seasoning. So you can use the same amounts, and of course the amounts will be in there, but you'd use the same amount. No, you wouldn't. I'm sorry. I'd use I'd start with 2 teaspoons and then go up from there, whether you want it more flavorful. All right, we need some salt and pepper. That's also in our seasoning. And we're going to need a little bit of lemon. And believe it or not, we're going to need a little Worcestershire sauce. And of course, we need some butter. We're going to use probably about 4 or 5 tablespoons of total of butter in between putting a little bit in our grits, and a couple cloves of garlic, finely chopped up, or you can use some garlic paste, a couple nice squirts of garlic paste. All right. And then in this bowl here, I've got red onions, celery, and red peppers. Doesn't have to be, it can be any kind of onion you want. I happen to have the red onions, and I had a little bit of red bell pepper left, but it can be green as well. And we're going to need a little bit of cornstarch because we're going to make a little pan sauce with that. But the other thing I want to talk about, we talked about the shrimp. Now our grits. Now you can make, you want to make your grits according to the package instructions. Depending on, you might be using fresh stone ground, and that's going to take a lot longer to cook. While I'm on it, we're going to need a little oil to do some frying. I'm using some chicken broth. You can use water, and I've got some half and half, okay? So grits is always 4 cups of liquid to 1 cup of grits, all right? According to the package, that's going to feed about 4 servings. You could double that. You don't have to double everything else in your recipe, but if you want to make, say you want 8 servings, then use 2 cups of grits and 8 cups of liquid. All right. Oh, okay. So the reason I'm boring you all with this is, so we've got our seasoning mix, and we're just going to sprinkle it over our shrimp. I have my grits, the water, and the cup of half and half. So I'll show you in a minute. I have those on the burner that's getting warm because we want those to boil when we put them in. So I just wanted to show, so we're just going to dump our seasoning in and massage around our grits a little bit. Our shrimp. And just make sure each one gets a little bit of coating. All right, just like that. And then we can set that aside for now. All right, I am gonna leave you guys in a minute and put everything away, but I want to just get our grits going. I'm gonna turn that up. So we want to bring that to a boil or very, very close to it. And I'll be right back. I need to get a measuring cup. Sorry that I forgot that. Hopefully, we got a new wireless microphone. Ooh. So hopefully you guys you won't have to subtitle it all. You did try it out to make sure it works, but you never know. All right, so we got our quick grits. And this dish goes by really fast. Of course, I'm talking, so it's going to seem like forever before we eat. That's pretty good. All right, so we've got our cup of grits. So in here, I've got 3 cups of chicken stock or broth and 1 cup of half and half. And that's almost at a boil. A lot of people, I don't, maybe don't cook shrimp at home or grits at home. One, because they think it takes a long, long time. And then a lot of people might be afraid to cook shrimp. It's just a matter of watching it. Make sure that you don't overcook it. All right, we are slowly we'll be to a boil in a minute. Now grits. It'd be interesting I'm sure Todd has made Creole shrimp and grits because in his area it's probably really popular. I wonder though how many of our other members have ever actually made grits at home. It's not something we eat a lot. A lot of times, I think Northerners, for some reason, we think of it either as shrimp and grits or just something for breakfast. Because it is a porridge, after all. It becomes, porridge. Not oatmeal, but porridge. And a lot of times you eat it with breakfast. With a nice egg. You might add a little bit more butter and a little bit more salt and pepper for a more savory bit for breakfast, but they're delicious. All right, are we coming up to almost? Almost. Wade can cut out as much of this as he wants. So really, before we cut and clean up, I just wanted to show you that. There we go. It's really not that difficult to make grits. I'm going to put our grits in. And now, the one part about grits is you really do have to kind of stand over it. And quick grits are going to take anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. I think the package directions on here say 5 minutes. But so we're going to add that in, and we're just going to stand here and stir till it comes back to a boil. And then we're going to turn it to low. Or we're going to, no, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say low. We're going to turn it down to about medium high. We don't have to necessarily have it at a hard boil because we're going to stand here and cook it. So now, of course, what's going to happen is the grits is going to bloom and or swell up and absorb the water and the half and half. All right, we'll be back. All right, guys, our grits are just about done, at least with them getting cooked. How long you cook them really is going to depend upon how creamy you want them or how firm you want them. The longer you, stand here and stir them. At this point, I've turned it down to low because they're done, which, you should do because it's like a erupting volcano while you're cooking it. But so the longer you just, kind of stand over and stir it, once they're cooked, the more of the liquid will evaporate and the thicker they'll get. So that's just about the consistency I want them for now. I don't know if that's easy to pick up. You can see just if you move the spoon through it, it stays separated for a few seconds. That's just kind of about how I like it, or maybe a second. All right, so our next step is we're going to throw in 3 tablespoons of butter. This is going to begin the beautiful creaming of the grits. We need some salt and pepper. Again, that's to taste. I'm going to do 2 good-sized pinches. And same with the pepper. Do a nice big pinch. And start to stir. Now again, I have this on low. I've got my pan heating up a little bit that we're going to fry our shrimp in. That's good. And then I've got about 2 cups of our smoked Gouda here. And I'm going to add it in. I chopped it up, or if you can get it shredded, just the smaller it is, the faster it will melt in. Now I'm going to put all of this in. And we'll get that melty. And I'm not going to add any more liquid because this is going to rest for a moment. And it will get a little bit thicker with the cheese. And then we're going to check it right before we finish. And we'll see if we want it a little thinner. Now, if you were making these for breakfast, of course, any type of cheese, cheddar cheese is really good with for them for breakfast.
It smells so good.
Doesn't it smell good? Huh? Yeah. All right, I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to recover it, and we're just going to let that rest there for a bit. All right, now, let's get it ready for our shrimp. I'm going to turn this up a bit. All right, I don't need that quite yet. We need a little bit of oil. Now, I normally would use olive oil, but I don't have any olive oil. I think last time I had used the last time I cooked, or I did it, and I can't find the brand that I really, really liked last time I bought olive oil. So they didn't have it again today at the supermarket. So I'm going to add just a little bit of vegetable oil in there. And Margaret's are looking delicious. We'll cover that tightly. All right, and I'm going to throw a couple pads of butter. All right, guys, and now I'm using the cast iron skillet. You can use whatever skillet you've got. All right, of course. Probably not going to be able to get all of the shrimp in, so we'll have to do. Ooh, that one is a mess. We'll probably have to do it in a batch. We'll see. So, cooking shrimp, right? You want to be on relatively high heat. We got our shrimp nicely seasoned. And then it really only needs about maybe 3 or 4 minutes per side. And I'll give you just a couple little tips I've kind of observed over the years. So, of course, when shrimp starts to cook, it's going to start to get pink, okay? So, kind of your telltale sign of when you want to turn it. And, of course, we do want to get a little color on there as well. We're going to get a little bit of brown. Of course, if we were doing Cajun style, it might get even more brown. But anyway, you'll see as you start to cook the, I don't know if you can see on this one. So your tail there, at the tail, it's going to start to get white. And once that whole little part of the tail, I have found, turns white, that's when the best time, or opaque, then flip it over. Smells good. We're gonna, so that's kind of a little pink there, pink, white, opaque. Yummy, it smells delicious. And, you know, we put them in a couple seconds after each other, but this one, I just want to show you, that one looks good to me to turn. And you can see that little, it's really kind of opaque, white, firm. Look at that, perfect. We got a little bit of color on there. And we're going to give that one another 3 minutes or so. This one looks ready. This one looks ready. One. Get it over here. And didn't want to turn. Get over there. All right, so I think to me those all look like they're ready to turn. So those need another 2 or 3 minutes on that side. Then I'm going to remove them from my pan and I'm going to place them on my plate here. And we're going to set them aside and we'll get the other batch in. But I'll just give that another minute. Let's check on ooh, that looks good. So most of our Cheese looks like it's all. Now see, that's on what I like as the consistency. All right. Again, it's purely up to you. You like it a little bit thicker, let it hang out there. It will continue to thicken up. If you want it a little bit thinner, you can add a little bit more of your chicken stock or water or a little bit more cream. All right. I think those guys are all pretty good because they're going to sit at on this plate for a bit. So you got some nice color. They're firm. They should be nice and have a nice tooth. They shouldn't be rubbery. And there's a little bit of nice pink around there. All right. That was hot. All right, I'm going to get the rest of them in, and we'll be back when our shrimp is all sauteed. All right, guys, our shrimp is all beautifully sauteed and done. You put some tinfoil over it, set it aside, keep it warm. All right, so in the, where's my spatula? In the pan that we're going to make a little pan sauce. Now, this isn't 100% necessary, but we got the ingredients. So in our pan, we've got, the leftover little bit of oil and butter. And we're going to put our veggies in. Now, normally I would have done used a slurry, but I don't know. I'm out of everything. I don't have any cornstarch. So we're going to let these saute for a bit. And this is just going to be for a nice little pan sauce. All right, we're deglazing the pan. I'm going to give a nice tablespoon or two of lemon. And these are chopped up finely, so we don't necessarily have to cook them forever. But we want to let them saute for 3 or 4 minutes. Just soften up a bit. So we got our shrimp is done. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn the heat up a little. All right, let's take a look at our grits, guys. Again, I've had this on very, very low. And there you go. So that is what's going to be our final consistency. All right. And again, that depends. You might want them a little thicker. You might even want them a little thinner. If you want them a little thinner, add a little bit of water or stock or cream if you got it. All right, we'll add our couple cloves of garlic. And let this cook for 30 seconds or so. As I've told you many times, as soon as you start to smell the garlic, it's where you want it to be. Oop, you get away. And that's usually about 30 seconds, depending upon how hot your pan is. All right, smells good to me. I'm going to put just a tad bit more butter in there. And we'll let that melt. You can smell all of them. You got the onions, the celery, the butter, the peppers. It smells delicious. All right, and let's put since I don't have cornstarch. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Let's get a little bit of flour in there. Put just a little bit more. So with this, you just want to cook out the floury flavor. 30-40 seconds should do it. And of course, my cast iron pan is very well seasoned, so almost nothing is sticking to it. And that looks good to me. I'm going to take some chicken stock. So I just kind of want it like maybe just a little bit thicker than thinner than a gravy. And I think that is just about there. Oop, I forgot one thing. I'll be right back. I said that a couple times today. I keep forgetting. Have a little bit of dash of half and half or cream. Make it just that more decadent. There we go. All right, I can shut that off. What do you think? That look good?
That look good.
All right, I'm going to plate up one for you quickly before we clean up the rest of this mess. I'm going to quickly taste that. We've had a really good time this year with the Orioles and the house finches and what else is he and the catbirds. They all love the jelly. I mean, I must fill that up 4-5 times a day.
Yeah.
And what happens is we run out of spoons. Delicious. All right, so we're going to dish one up for you right now. All right, so you got a nice little base of your grits. You can put a little sprinkle here or there around of our little bit of sauce. And depending upon how much you like the people you're cooking for, and I like Wade a lot, so we'll give him at least 4, just because he can always go back for more. We'll give him one more. 5 pieces of shrimp. And again, we'll take a little bit of our sauce and just dribble it here and there. And there we have my version of shrimp and grits. We'll clean up and take a much nicer picture, but that's the finished product. All right, we're back at my favorite time of cooking, eating. Hey, I did just want to mention, I didn't put on camera, you didn't see me putting any of the Worcestershire sauce in our sauce, but I did sprinkle a few a good couple tablespoons of that in there. So, with that being said, let's dig into our shrimp and grits. I'm going to try my shrimp first. The grits, I'm sorry.
I'm going to try both at the same time.
Cheesy.
That is good.
Yeah, I really like the smoked Gouda in the grits with the shrimp. You made them both?
What? Oh, yeah.
You do when you cutted it? You cutted it. You cut it? Let's see.
This is absolutely amazing. I love this.
Yeah. Like I said, shrimp is not my favorite thing in the world, although that taste was, that bite was delicious. Let me do.
Delicious.
If I should say so myself, that shrimp is absolutely delicious. All right, well, I better stop watching everybody make me eat. That's all I got to say for now.
Well, please remember to like and subscribe and check out cherryhillhomecooking.com. Thank you for watching.
Ciao.
Bye.